Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm RexFinance, and today I get the privilege to speak about CleanSpark CLSK Stock once again. It's been a while since I've done a standalone video on this company, but for those of you that might be new to this channel, I've actually been covering CleanSpark for almost a year now, back when CleanSpark was around $4 a share. So it's safe to say that I've been with this company and stock for quite a while now, and I've been with them through the ups and downs. I was with them when we rode the share price from $4 to over $40 per share at the all-time highs, and I've still been with the company and stock as we've fallen from those all-time highs back down to the low teens per share. In fact, CleanSpark stock is more than 60% off of its all-time highs, but in today's video, I'm going to be discussing why I believe there's been no better time to be a CleanSpark shareholder than right now. It all starts with the B-word conference that took place today with ARK Invest's Cathy Wood, Elon Musk, and Jack Dorsey from Twitter. There was a great discussion that went on, and it really proved out what CleanSpark's business model currently is. While I was watching the conference live, I kept thinking to myself that, man, they are just describing CleanSpark without saying the word CleanSpark. They even started talking about Bitcoin and energy and renewables, yet they still didn't mention CleanSpark. CleanSpark has been flying under the radar for quite some time now, and in my opinion, they have the answer key to the crypto industry's biggest problem right now, which involves the use of dirty power sources such as coal-fired power plants. Also, it's not just me that's thinking that this is such a great time to be a CleanSpark shareholder. In fact, according to our two Wall Street analysts, the two analysts have an average price target of $47.50, representing a 4 to 5x in the share price from where we're currently sitting at. That is tremendous return, and it is very rare that you can find this in a stock, where the analysts that cover the stock actually have price targets that much higher than the current share price. It's also common knowledge that analysts are kind of sissies, for lack of a better word, when the markets are falling. What analysts do when the markets are struggling is they drop the price targets on companies. Well, obviously with CleanSpark, even though the markets have dropped dramatically, neither of the two analysts have dropped their personal price targets for this stock. However, the other thing that happens is analysts are much more reluctant to initiate new coverage on new stocks that they hadn't initiated coverage on in the past. This is part of the reason that CleanSpark has not found more than two analysts. The reason analysts don't like to initiate coverage in a fallen market is because they don't want to be considered wrong about one of their price targets. However, once the markets start to recover, and they've shown some strength over the past 2 days, I highly anticipate new analysts to initiate coverage and initiate price targets on this stock. But anyways, I'm going to be covering all of this and more, including an update on my personal price target for the end of the year. So be sure you stay tuned for the rest of this video. On Stock Twits, I actually asked for 40 likes in order to do a CleanSpark video today, and I got over 100 likes on that post. So with this video, I'm going to set the goal to hit 1,000 likes on this YouTube video. Also, if you feel comfortable doing so, let me know down in the comment section below how many shares of CleanSpark you own and if you plan on buying more shares of the stock. The video that I released on Monday is this one that I am circling on the screen right here, titled "Stocks Are About to Flip." I did a flipping, no pun intended, handstand for this thumbnail, and it only has 3.2 thousand views. I think we can do much better than that. So if you guys did not see this video or missed it somehow, hit the link down in the description below, and if you're lazy, you can even hit the eye in the top right hand corner. I'll leave a card up there just for you. But anyways, in the video I released on Monday, I discussed that I felt the markets, especially in small caps, had reached max fear, uncertainty, and doubt, otherwise known as FUD, max FUD. And generally what happens when a market reaches that point of max FUD is the market bottom gets set in. So in this video, I discussed that I felt that maybe we hadn't hit the exact bottom, but I felt that we were getting very, very close to this bottom. And so far I've been right. Who knows what will actually happen? But if you are invested in CleanSpark or you have followed the share price, CleanSpark has been no exception. Over the last 2 days, the share price is up more than 10%, which is a tremendous return in such a short amount of time. Also, before we get into the good stuff, I want to say thank you to Sean and Grant for recently subscribing to the YouTube channel. And I want to say thank you to Arashay and Slim for recently becoming a member of Rex Nation. If you guys want access to my buy and sell alerts, my due diligence, extra access to me in general, hit the join button down below located right next to the subscribe button. If you don't see the join button, there will be a link to my Patreon down in the pinned comment section. That is the second option to join the paid monthly membership. But with all of this stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and start discussing what happened today. Today, the B-word conference took place. And no, it's not the B-word you're talking about. This was a Bitcoin conference that took place involving Cathy Wood from ARK Invest, Elon Musk from Tesla, and also Jack Dorsey from Twitter and Square. I have a feeling that a lot of you out there watched this event live because it was such a big event. During this conference, there was a lot of talk about Bitcoin and renewable energy. If you know anything about CleanSpark, you'll know that their two main business segments are Bitcoin and renewable energy. The two of those things paired together is what CleanSpark as a company is, but it's also exactly what this conference was intended to talk about. While I was watching this conference live, I kept thinking to myself, man, they are just describing CleanSpark without saying the word CleanSpark. It's kind of insane. This was just free advertising for CleanSpark in my personal opinion. Everything that Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, Cathy Wood, and other institutional investors want to happen in the cryptocurrency industry is what CleanSpark is focused on. It's no secret to anyone anymore that Elon Musk halted the ability to use Bitcoin to purchase a Tesla. This event in itself caused massive selling pressure, and it's part of the reason that Bitcoin is more than 50% off of its all-time highs. If we look at the price of Bitcoin, we can actually see that it's showing signs of strength. I don't know if I had a crystal ball or what at the beginning of the week, but this is also another prediction that I made that has so far been correct. In the members-only Discord server, I made it clear that I felt that Bitcoin is going to retest that $30,000 level before topping $35,000 per Bitcoin by the end of the week. Obviously, so far so good with that prediction, but we'll just have to see what happens. However, part of the reason I am bringing this up is despite Bitcoin being 50% plus off of its all-time highs, it is still almost doubled in price since CleanSpark acquired its Bitcoin mining facility last year. Also, if we looked at CleanSpark's market cap on Monday in particular, it was nearing the $400 million level, meaning as an entire company, they were valued at $400 million. That valuation is almost the valuation that CleanSpark had before they even got into Bitcoin mining themselves. That is crazy to think about. Most of this downwards pressure on CleanSpark's share price has been due to forces outside of the company's control. It's been due to the overall market sentiment, not what the company is or isn't doing. It's been due to Bitcoin prices being 50% off of their all-time highs. There's only so much you can do as an executive of a company to help shareholders out by increasing the share price. But most of what is happening with growth stocks in particular, they are not very safe investments. They will fly up and down in share price much more than the broader market, or if you owned Coca-Cola stock, for example, because they are such speculative investments. Growth stocks are speculative in nature. Anyways, despite Bitcoin still kind of struggling around the $30,000 level, I really haven't heard any of the Bitcoin experts back off of the thought that we will be at $100,000 per Bitcoin or more by the end of 2021. In my opinion, if Bitcoin prices hit $100,000 per Bitcoin, based on what CleanSpark is planning to do in this industry, there is zero reason CleanSpark should not be a $100 stock or higher. I'll get into more of my price target later in the video, but let's go ahead and get back to this B-word conference. There was actually a lot of positive news that came out of this conference, and a lot of it, again, aligned with what CleanSpark does as a company. Elon Musk gave the vibe that he is getting pretty close to reinstating the ability to purchase a Tesla using Bitcoin. When Tesla first announced that they would be doing this, the price of Bitcoin soared. In contrast, when they announced that they were going to halt the ability to do this, well, obviously Bitcoin prices fell. So this time around, when Elon Musk comes out and says they're going to start accepting Bitcoin again, I expect very similar price action where the price of Bitcoin is likely going to soar, because the bottom line is the more utility that Bitcoin has, the better, and the better the price is going to be for investors. Paraphrasing just a little bit, Elon Musk said that once the cryptocurrency industry is powered by greater than 50% renewable energy sources, that's when they will start accepting Bitcoin payments again. He also said that they've seen a very positive trend in this direction, but on top of this, we have to remember that with CleanSpark, we're investing in a company that currently is at 95% carbon-free sources with its mining. They also have plans to take this up to 98% carbon-free. During this conference, Elon Musk also stated that he felt nuclear power was a great power source for mining rigs. Well, if we go to CleanSpark's investor presentation, we can see that their energy mix is 91% nuclear, which is considered renewable and clean. So this again is agreeing with Elon Musk's sentiment. On top of this, Elon Musk also stated that hydroelectric and wind power were great sources for Bitcoin mining rigs. Well, what do you know? CleanSpark came out recently with a press release saying they were working with CoinMint. CoinMint is the largest digital currency data center in the world. CleanSpark is partnering with this ginormous data center. And if we look into CoinMint themselves, we can see that given the abundance of hydroelectric and wind generation in the area, the experience of its management team in wholesale electricity markets, and the historically large scale in terms of capacity, CoinMint has a material electrical economic advantage. So they are using hydroelectric and wind generation sources for these Bitcoin operations. Again, exactly what Elon Musk mentioned in this conference. CleanSpark partnering with CoinMint exactly proves out what they were trying to do when they acquired ATL Data Centers, which is their Bitcoin mining facility. They wanted a test case to prove that by using CleanSpark's renewable offerings, they can make Bitcoin mining cleaner, more efficient, and cheaper for the Bitcoin miners themselves. So the big deal with this press release, and I think a lot of people miss this, is that if we scroll down, we can see that a direct quote from CoinMint CFO Michael Maloney says, "We also are looking into transforming the remaining 6% of non-renewable energy with on-site renewables, and we believe CleanSpark is the right partner to help us achieve this goal. CoinMint looks forward to working with their energy professionals and proprietary energy solutions to expand our renewable energy infrastructure." If CleanSpark is working with CoinMint, the largest digital currency data center in the world, there is nobody that CleanSpark cannot work with. That is a fact. And the upside there revenue-wise is just incredible to think about. However, unfortunately, despite this being perhaps the biggest press release in CleanSpark's short history, the stock price was down 5 to 6% on the day they released this PR. Thinking about that almost makes me sick. This press release was ginormous, but they were down on the day because the overall market was in deep red. Again, way outside of the company and executives' control. They could not control what the market was going to do on that given day. But all I know is that back in 2020, if they released this press release, you know what would have happened to the share price? The share price would have been up by more than 30% in one day. That's how big this press release is. It proves that CleanSpark as a company can work with anybody, and their business model is working out. Anyways, back to that B-word conference. Elon Musk had a pretty funny quote when he said, "I might pump, but I don't dump." This was in reference to Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, etc. He owns all three of those cryptocurrencies personally. And his point is he wants to see Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dogecoin all succeed. So when he comes out and says Tesla is no longer going to be accepting Bitcoin, it's not because he wants to influence the price in a negative way. Overall, he's rooting for Bitcoin. We also got news that SpaceX owns Bitcoin. We did not know that before. But Tesla and SpaceX both own Bitcoin, along with Elon Musk, who owns Bitcoin personally. I think Wall Street is getting ready to pump money back into these growth stocks, and I think Wall Street is going to respect CleanSpark like it never has before. After all these press releases, the overall market trends of the cryptocurrency industry, all of these different things point in one direction, and that is CleanSpark doing very, very well. So now let's go ahead and discuss my personal price target. If I go back to Webull and the price of Bitcoin, again, I've already stated that if Bitcoin does surpass $100,000 per Bitcoin by the end of the year, CleanSpark should realistically be over $100 a share just based on their Bitcoin mining projections and how they're going to continue to ramp up that business segment. They already hinted last conference call that they're interested in acquiring 3 new facilities. So right now, I think CleanSpark's projections on where they want to be with Bitcoin is probably understated. They eventually want to get to 3.2 exahash by the end of 2022, but I think that's probably lowballing it just based on the hints we've gotten in conference calls, etc. But now let's talk about worst case scenario. Say Bitcoin drops down to $10,000 per Bitcoin. Well, I've kind of done the math here, and we can go back to the spreadsheet to look at this. This spreadsheet is accessible in the members-only Discord server. It's nothing special. It's just a revenue multiple valuation metric. Using a revenue multiple is pretty lazy, but it's simple to explain, which is why I'm going to be using it in this video. So let's go ahead and say that the price of Bitcoin goes down to $10,000 per Bitcoin, and it stays there throughout the next 12 months. So right now, I'm going to change this $100,000 per Bitcoin to $10,000 and hit enter. However, we now know that CleanSpark is going to be mining more than 10 Bitcoin per day on average throughout all of 2022. So I'm going to increase this Bitcoin mine per day to something like 14 or 15. Let's just go with 15. Using a revenue multiple of 10 is pretty low for the industries, but I want to be as conservative as possible here. So I'm going to leave that at 10. Typically with this industry, if you want to do some math on your own, it's more in the 20 to 30 range, but that can vary depending on what the overall market sentiment is. But anyways, at $10,000 per Bitcoin, which by the way is still profitable for CleanSpark, $10,000 per Bitcoin would not be profitable for the majority of Bitcoin miners out there. So honestly, if Bitcoin prices dropped to $10,000 per Bitcoin, this Bitcoin mine per day would probably be in the 20s somewhere. But again, I'm just going to leave it at 15 to stay conservative. At a price of $10,000 and 15 Bitcoin mined per day, we get Bitcoin mining revenue of over $50 million. In 2022, I think it's safe to say that CleanSpark's energy business segment will do over $100 million in revenue. That number is just a pure guesstimate based on the amount of batteries they've had to buy, their upcoming launch of mVolt, CoinBlock, etc. But I'm just going to make this simple, and I'm going to erase all of the numbers from the energy side of the business, and I'm just going to put $100 million in revenue under Grid Fabric. Grid Fabric itself will not do near that much, but as a whole, all of the different energy segments for CleanSpark will probably do over $100 million in revenue. So let's just go ahead and put this in. Even if the price of Bitcoin would drop to $10,000 and we mine our 15 Bitcoin a day, but we do $100 million in revenue on our energy side at a revenue multiple of 10, which again is conservative, we're still looking at a share price of around $50 per share. So the two analysts that cover CleanSpark have a price target on average of $47.50, largely in line with what I have here. But now let's go ahead and just get rid of the $100 million in revenue in general. We can see that the share price would still be over $20 a share just based on the Bitcoin mining segment alone for CleanSpark. Again, this is assuming that CleanSpark just ends their energy business segment, which they won't do. But this proves to us that the share price upside from here is very, very high. Buying in the 14s, the 13s, the 12s, the 15s, 16s, whatever. By the end of the year, if we get to $20 a share, that's still tremendous return on your investment. Anyways, I want to end this video here. I didn't want to make it too long. If you guys enjoyed this, again, hit that like button down below and comment how many shares of CleanSpark you own and if you plan on buying any more shares in the near future. With that, if you guys are new here or returning and not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below as well. With that, I'll be back with a brand new video on Friday. Peace out.